Hey vinyl community, Jeff back again, and it's time for another one of our The Perfect 10 records. I think we're up to number 4 now. A name that was borrowed from Rick and Records, who started this, and I turned it into sort of also a response type thread. And basically what we're doing, if you haven't seen the previous ones, is I'm just pulling the 10th record. Every 10th record from my collection, I'm pulling 10 of them. So basically every 10th record for 100 out of my collection, slowly making it through, just randomly pulling them to take a look at what we've got, maybe see some things we haven't shown or even pulled in a while, re-listening to them on my own if needed, and just kind of revisiting some stuff. So it's kind of a fun way to go through the collection and just see some things that may have gotten missed over the times and years. So anyway, yeah, so we're up to 4. I pulled them, I just grabbed them. I kind of count, pull. So I didn't really look at these, unlike some of the previous ones. Obviously I can see the ones on the bottom side, but we're going to flip these over and just get right into this and see what I can see and tell from the top. So I think we ended last time in the Def Leppard area, so we were up to D, and we're still in D. We've got Straight On by DeGarmo and Key. DeGarmo and Key are a contemporary Christian band. In the earlier days when they started these days here, they were a little more rock. They later turned into more pop, keyboard-oriented pop in the 80s. This one is probably, I'm not even going to try to look, it's one of the probably late 70s or very early 80s. This is one of the original presses. Their albums were recently reissued on, up remastered vinyl, all that stuff, CD. This is actually one of the originals on Lamb and Lion Records from back in the day. Just an OG copy that I've picked up over the years. So, yeah, the great stuff. I've gotten most of their stuff on vinyl, and here is one of them from the earlier days. All right, yeah, I'm glad we can't get past Deliverance. There's probably way too many to make it past getting through 10 of them. Stay of Execution, early 90s. They kind of took a change here. They started off as being pretty much straight up thrash, California band, just kind of that melodic thrash. Think Anthrax and bands like that. That's what they started out as, and then they progressed into it's still got some it's pretty heavy. It's just not it's a little chunking along, but it's got a different feel at times. And so I've been a big fan of Deliverance since the beginning. I think if you look back on my channel, you'll see I did an interview with Jimmy Brown, the singer, not too many years ago when they reissued one of his albums. Around this time, it was the next one or the one after. They reissued that, and I talked about some of the history on that. So yes, Deliverance, still around, still turning out great music, and love them. All right, yeah, I knew we'd have to get into this. Some Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter, I mentioned them in a recent video because I pulled them for some other contest, and had mentioned they're probably one of the few metalcore bands from back in the day that I really got into. And I have picked up everything I could get on vinyl that they have. I think only their first 2 or 3 albums haven't been released, but most of the later stuff has. And so this is their True Defiance album. Every one of their albums has some kind of a symbol. It's kind of a skull with a bullet hole in it, which is Demon Hunter. So they've got, every album has like a different type of skull image on it, different format, different artwork. And so this is the one from, I don't know, so this album's probably more than 10 years old, but yeah, great stuff. One of my favorite bands that of this genre, and there they are represented here. All right, stickers in the way. DieHappy Volume 2. I showed DieHappy Volume 1 in a recent video for a contest or something. I can't recall exactly where, but their first album was very a little heavier. Second album was very blues based, very bluesy, hard rockin', classic rockin', hard rockin' blues. The band, minus the singer, the band members were all from the band Vengeance Rising, which was like one of the early, I guess you'd call it death thrash type metal band from the 80s. And the whole band and singer separated, and the band got a new singer and put out 2 albums by DieHappy. So, yeah, anyway. A great band. Vinyl reissue from probably just a few years ago. They finally reissued those on vinyl. Oh, okay. Hey, this was a was this, Christmas or Father's Day, or it was some other thing where somebody got me the Dio Donington 87. So they released a double two record sets for Dio at Donington, 87 and 84, and had previously been released, I think, as a single set, but has been really expensive, and so they reissued them recently in their own individual sets with lenticular covers there, and that's what this is. So yeah, classic Dio from the 87 years. I think I saw him live in 85 with Dokken, I believe. Dokken opened for them. So yeah, the heyday, the 80s. This is Dio at the heights of his career, so great to have that. All right, Disciple, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. I've picked up a lot of Disciple because they've recently started reissuing them on vinyl, and they were putting them out 2 or 3 at a time, and I think I have all the ones that are out so far, and there's probably a handful more of the older ones that maybe they're going to eventually go back to. Another modern metal, not metalcore, alt metal. At times they had a little spoken wordy type, I don't know, they're thrashy, heavy, aggressive, and at times a little more commercial friendly. This is actually one of the albums where they actually had some radio hits in this time frame. There was a little more commerciality, but it's funny because you listen to that and you're like, oh man, they really went wimpy and they're all commercial. Then you listen to the album, you're like, oh, only on a couple songs. The rest of the stuff is just as heavy as always, it seems like. So yeah, they are, and they're still around. I believe I haven't heard their newest album, but they got a new album that just came out that I'm sure I'll pick up. And so this is just one of their older ones. I don't know, this is probably at least 10 years old, and it just got reissued on vinyl, so glad to have that. Speaking of the Dio Dokken concert, here's some Dokken. Put it right in there. This is Dokken's greatest hits. So this is what they did, is they re-recorded their greatest hits. So this is not just a greatest hits album. This is a re-record of all of their hits. Just Got Lucky, Breaking the Chains, Into the Fire, The Hunter, In My Dreams, It's Not Love, Alone Again, Dream Warriors, Unchained, and Night Tooth and Nail. So these have been, this is a 2015 release. This is on green. And I picked up a copy that was damaged. You can see it's got split seam there, and the cover itself is kind of dinged up. The album is still pretty much new, and I got it for a really good price. So I thought, yeah, I'll jump on that. So yeah, some great Dokken stuff. Oh, look at that. I guess we got enough Dokken in our collection to have 2 this time around. Dokken Back in the Streets. This is a EP of early material. Back in the Streets, Felony, Day After Day, We Got It Wrong, Liar, Prisoner. 1989. So it wasn't like this was released before they started getting famous, but it was probably reissued of earlier material from, I believe this is the days before they, got the record deal and everything. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these are older songs, but they were reissued in the 80s when they started getting popular. I guess somebody's like, hey, let's re-put that out. And I have gotten a copy of that. So great stuff. Love Dokken. Love Dokken. Oop, another band that's in here twice. Makes sense. DreamTheater. Have a lot of these design things. This is the live Master of Puppets. They played the entire Master of Puppets album in Barcelona in 2002. They did a lot of cover albums, and they were doing these special releases where they'd have a concert, they'd play like an entire cover album, and then the second part of the concert, or it was the other way around, the first part of the concert, and then the second part was the cover. But they would do their stuff for like an entire long set, and then they would come back after a break and do an entire album. So they've done Master of Puppets, they did Number the Beast, they did Pink Floyd, they did Deep Purple. It's just, they've done a lot of them. And so they've been, these designs like this, they've been reissuing these have been out on CD for years, but they've been reissuing them little by little on vinyl, and I'm probably 4 or 5 behind on having all of them. But this is a great one. It's a no frill. They come with the CD, no frills release. Usually they have different colors, no, just a couple pictures if anything, in a gatefold double record set. Great stuff. And we can see that a second one has come out. These are the Awake demos from 1994. Again, they got just a kaleidoscope looking design on pretty much all of them, and they all have the CD and They all tend to be 2 to 3 albums. I think most of the ones I have are black, but there are, I believe, various color formats. So yeah, there you go. There's actually one of them that I want that just dropped down about $17 or $18 lower than normal on Amazon, and I've got my finger poised to buy it, but I'm just like, do I really want to or need to? But yeah, some great stuff. But anyway, yes, there you go. So 2 DreamTheaters. That puts us in the D's, and we are done with this 10 from my collection, and I'll jump back on and resume from DreamTheater on for the next one. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See some stuff maybe you haven't seen in a while or never seen at all, and I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.